Hello, everyone from the swamps. From the farms of Delaware. I'm still getting used to the new intro. No, I'm no longer in the swamps of New Jersey. It is the Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Show. Hello, everyone, and I hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. We have a jam-packed show for you guys. I've got a two-part opening monologue. We're going to be talking about two different things that are both kind of, they have to do with recent news rather than kind of a just generalized monologue here. And then, of course, we have a few very exciting segments. This is the final Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Show before the very highly anticipated Jump Victory Carnival. For us Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime fans, I don't think there's been this much excitement going into a Jump Victory Carnival ever. And the reason there's so much excitement is because for the first time in the history of the entire Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise, there is no weekly card game anime going on as Jump Victory Carnival approaches. It's an event where in 2019 they announced Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, or at least that they were working on a new show, and so we'll have to wait and see what comes out of that. That's in 2 weekends, but myself, Dredger and Nick T, we're going to be giving you our top 5 most likely Jump Victory Carnival outcomes. That'll be a little later on, and then, of course, you know the segment. You'll love the segment. I think it's some people's favorite segment on the channel, Pulse of the Community, where we pull colorful comments. I always like to say we pull colorful comments and we will go over all of them, breaking them down. People like to have their kind of laughs at me during that segment, and I'm sure we'll have some more later on today. I will be joined by Dredger and Nick T. Huge thank you to them. We're going to bring those boys on in a little bit, but before we get to that, I would love to kind of talk about a couple of things here. And the first thing that I want to talk about is regarding Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, maybe some of you guys missed it, maybe some of you guys have heard about it, but they have been re-showing Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds over on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime channel, which is region locked to Japan. And I just had to incorporate this into my opening thoughts here tonight, because the numbers coming from these streams are absolutely jaw-dropping, in my opinion. If you don't know, they'll stream like 10 or 11 episodes. People will watch it, and then they'll upload those episodes onto a region-locked channel that is only viewable in Japan. And we're going to go over just kind of the numbers that they're getting and some things that Yusei's voice actor said, and just my overall thoughts on what's been an incredible number performance over there on the YouTube channel. And I want to start with something that, of course, is a little relevant to compare it to, right? We have the Chronicles, which is a new mini-series that's going on right now over in Japan. This is like the only Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime that we're getting. You go from 80 minutes a month to 5 minutes a month, which has been pretty rough. And the Sky Striker episode got 677,317, and then the first Albaz got 522. I actually thought the Albaz episode was going to beat that first Sky Striker episode, but now I heavily doubt it because it certainly slowed down quite a bit. Well, again, this is all new content. This is the card lore. This is what some people have clamored for a very long time. Comparatively, how do you guys think it's doing to the 5Ds episodes that are on a region-locked YouTube channel? Well, they just aired the final 11 episodes in a stream and uploaded it to YouTube. And in 2 days, those episodes received 728,000 views. At one point during this live stream, there were 60,000 people watching. 60,000 people watching Yusei take on Zone, beat the Time Lords. It's just unbelievable the amount of viewership it got. And you might say, oh, well, Dylan, that's not a fair comparison. That's the final episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Of course it's going to get a lot of views. Well, let's take a look at the 10 before it. 800,000 views in 9 days. The numbers that we are getting here tell me a few things. The number one thing is there is still a massive love and, most importantly, a massive audience when it comes to these older Yu-Gi-Oh shows. I truly believe this. If they did a Yu-Gi-Oh series that was like a sequel to any of the first 4 shows, Duel Monsters through Zexal, I think it would have an insane amount of viewership behind it, an insane amount of hype, and these numbers tell the story. I mean, these are old 5Ds episodes on a region lock channel, and they are beating out steadily new content that we are getting in the Chronicles. And Konami doing a great thing here, right? Uploading videos, uploading episodes, and it's like, all right, it sinks that it's region locked for Japan, but whatever. And then I went to go back, and this is where, man, Konami just sometimes really makes me scratch my head and ask why. I get why the region lock exists. I don't love it, but I get it, right? It probably has to do with licensing or distribution. But I went to look back other viewership counts, and you can see right below me, 10 of these 13 streamed batches, they have now made private. And they are slowly removing these videos from their YouTube channel. I thought the whole point of this YouTube channel was to catalog these old Yu-Gi-Oh episodes. Like, sure, it's region locked, that sucks. But what's even the point? They promoted this channel as, oh, this is the channel. This is the channel where we're going to put our catalog of Yu-Gi-Oh anime episodes. And now they're already starting to block people, even people that live in Japan, from watching the old streams. And so unfortunately, I don't have the data here in front of me, but I saw it with my own eyes. I just didn't screenshot it. The Crashtown portion of this watch along got over 1 million views in 8 days. 1 million views in 8 days for Crashtown. Heck, the finale may very well get there. It's already at 728,000. But like Konami does a really cool thing here for its Japan audience, right? And then all of a sudden they're starting to kind of go back on their announcement by blocking videos, which is just silly, and that kind of sums it up with Konami. But anyway, to get back to the main point, really, really incredible stuff with the viewership. And you ask, well, I mean, how do the people that were part of 5Ds still feel? This is Yusei's voice actor. Now, it's Google Translate, but this is what he tweeted right after 60,000 people tuned in to watch the character that he voiced a decade and a half ago take down Zone and conclude his show. Oh, I cried. To everyone who watched it live, to everyone who loves Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, thank you so much. I bet some of you who watched this broadcast may have retired from Yu-Gi-Oh! If you still have cards tuckered away in a drawer at home, take them out and play with them once in a while. There's no such thing as an unnecessary card in this world. And please keep supporting 5Ds from now on. Can we all agree that the top anime of 2025 is Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds? You can watch it until July 14th, so make sure you're satisfied. It's a beautiful message. You think if they asked him, hey, we're making a show that's going to incorporate Yusei, whether it's a Duel Links anime or a sequel to 5Ds, you think he's turning that down? I've said it many times, man. There is an incredible amount of love and passion that the people who worked on Yu-Gi-Oh! On the Japanese side and on the English side still have for this franchise. I mean, this was a role that he had that ended over a decade ago, and he's still getting emotional watching it back. Some of these voice actors view their role in Yu-Gi-Oh! As some of the best roles they've ever had in their entire franchise. Mai Valentine, her actress over in Japan, she talks about Yu-Gi-Oh! All the time. She plays the game, I believe. So all this to say that there is still an incredible amount of passion for these older shows. And who knows? Maybe Konami sees these turnouts and says, maybe we need to make some new content and tap into that a little bit. And speaking of kind of being in the position that we're in right now, we actually have some breaking news for you guys. A little longer than I remembered there, but we got some breaking news over the week. Some big news. Yu-Gi-Oh! Producer ADK, the parent company to a company that I love, Nihon Ad Systems, to be acquired by Korean game publisher Krafton. Now, breaking news in terms of, I haven't covered it yet because this happened about 6 days ago. And what does it mean? Well, let's get into it. Japanese advertising and animation group ADK announced on Tuesday that it will be acquired by South Korean video game giant Krafton. Krafton, responsible for PUBG. That's probably the game that most of you have heard that they have done. In a deal worth about $518 million US. Krafton will take over ADK's largest shareholder, BCG31 Incorporated, a fund affiliated with U.S. investment firm Bain Capital, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's not the right thing. Here we go. ADK is a member of a consortium that owns the rights to the Yugioh property. It is the parent company of Nihon Ad Systems, a producer of every Yu-Gi-Oh anime series and movie since Duel Monsters. In a statement, Krafton CEO said ADK is a trusted partner with deep insights into Japan's content industry, offering exceptional expertise and execution capabilities across animation planning and production, and a bunch of, business mumbo jumbo that I'm not going to bother you guys with. But this is a big deal. This is a big deal. And, I don't really know what this means for the future, but I do believe that this is another notch on the belt of where we are as Yu-Gi-Oh anime fans, right? You got to get dressed every morning. You put on your pants, you grab a belt from on top of the door, wherever you keep your belt, and you look at the belt and it reads, "No more Yu-Gi-Oh anime." You say, how am I wearing this? Why am I, how did we get here? And I said a few weeks ago, I think Takahashi's passing is a big reason. And I still do believe that is the main reason. But I look at this article and I look at this news. I looked it up, and major acquisitions when it comes to business take anywhere from 6 to 18 months. This is something that, in my opinion, I don't know this for a fact, has probably been going on for at least a year. This is a $500 million acquisition. You think this started last month? There's no way. Not an acquisition of that size. Think about how big $1 million is, right? You want to hit $1 million. $1 million, crazy amount of money. Some people will never have $1 million. It's hard to reach. It's a crazy amount of money. It's a Hollywood benchmark that, society has propped up. 1 billion is 1,000 millions. Think about that. 1 billion, 1,000 millions. I'm just trying to put it into perspective how big of a deal this is. 518 million, $500 million. And so I believe this has been going on quite possibly since the end of 2023. And sometimes when you have big deals like this happening, you have to kind of stop doing what you're doing to see what's going to happen. My dad, a great story he had for me. My dad used to be like a computer technician consultant in New York City in the late 90s. He'd go in, he'd build the computer infrastructures for companies, and he was a contract worker and did that. And he was working on, a company's infrastructure, and they heard, we might be getting bought out. We have to stop everything that we're doing. We have to stop everything. And he played Doom with his buddies at work. He got paid for 3 months to do that while the buyout was happening. So sometimes you just have to freeze whatever's going on as soon as the rumor starts that, hey, we're getting bought out. Hey, we're being acquired. And I say it a lot. Sometimes there's multiple things that go into a decision. I think the Takahashi passing was a big one. I would bet a lot of money that ADK, NAS, and other companies that were maybe under ADK had to pause what they were doing to some degree while this deal was being figured out. That's just business. That's just business practice. And sometimes there's multiple reasons for a big decision, right? Your partner gets offered a $300,000 job, but it's 5 hours away. And you say, well, we're going to be away from family. We're going to be away from friends. The cost of living in that city is much more expensive than where we are here. The job isn't really something I want to do. Yeah, all these negatives are telling me, let's not take it. It's not the right call for us. It doesn't just have to be one reason. And this, to me, is another notch on that belt of why we are here as Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime fans without a Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime going on. So what does it mean for the future? Well, now that the deal is announced, there's still some things that need to happen. It still could take a few more months. But now that there's some things that, need to be worked out, who knows what happens? Who knows what happens next when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh!, when it comes to the anime, and what Krafton is going to want to do with it. In another statement I read, Krafton said, we're going to kind of leave it alone. We're going to kind of leave it alone. We don't really want to, get too involved with ADK and NAS, but NAS is doing something that they've never done before, and that's not be a part of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Production. There's a lot of things that need to go on. Konami needs to be involved, Shueisha. There's so many companies, and there's a lot of pegs that need to fall in the right places. And yeah, I think this is just another reason as to why we do not have Yu-Gi-Oh! 9. But man, the 5D's success, the Krafton buyout here of ADK, I got to bring in my guys, because there is a lot going on. There is a lot that needs to be discussed. And I am so thrilled to be joined by two friends of mine here, Dredger and Nick T. Nick T, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing excellent, brother. I'm doing very good.
Good.
I'm having a great time.
Good. I'm happy to hear it. Dredger, how are you doing, man?
Doing well. It's a Wednesday. It's a 4-day work week, so looking forward to the weekend for
That's
sure.
right. Very exciting. July 4th around the corner. Nick T, I'm going to start with you. I mean, I don't know which of those. We talked about a couple of different things. I don't know which of those two you kind of want to give your thoughts on here, but you can kind of pick. It's kind of dealer's choice. And I don't know. What do you think of my thoughts and just the news here coming out of Japan in regards to the massive viewership of 5Ds and the buyout here of ADK?
While it's fresh on my mind, I wanted to first address, I guess, the buyout, the acquisition.
Yeah, please.
Because your clothing analogy was absolutely bananas.
In a good way?
No, I don't think anyone understood what you were talking about. But I actually, no, I can't. There's no but there. I don't know what you were talking about with that one.
There's multiple notches on a belt.
Sure, but that has nothing to do with getting dressed.
Yeah, maybe that's where I lost people.
Yeah. Your belt doesn't read anything. Notches on your belt are like
sometimes your belt
accomplishments.
Says something.
No. Okay. Oh yeah, but not in the analogy. Why would the belt?
All right, forget the belts. Forget the belts.
Forget the belts. If we're talking about the actual use of that analogy, like yeah, it is a notch in the belt for I suppose. Well, every Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a notch in the belt for Neon Ad Systems and ADK. And I suppose we're putting on a new belt, if we're going to stick with that analogy, in the sense that, being acquired by a different company could mean a lot of things. It could mean nothing for Yu-Gi-Oh! It could mean a lot of things for other IPs or, new or pre-existing, but it could also mean maybe this is why there was a bit of a production pause for Yu-Gi-Oh! 9. So I think it is interesting. I do think your thoughts on the timeline, the amount of time it requires for an acquisition to happen does lend credence to maybe there was a stop production and that's why we don't have anything or news of anything.
Right. And that's why all we've been getting are these vague messages, because maybe they're, you want to be optimistic, right? Maybe there are genuine plans of hey, we know we want to do some more stuff when it comes to the card game anime. It's just we're frozen right now because of this business deal going on. I mean, that very well could be a real possibility.
Certainly. No, I actually really do agree with you on that. I think we just have to keep our eyes peeled, because it could mean something. It could mean just like we're in a very weird place with Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, where everything could mean something or mean nothing.
Correct.
So that's where we're at with this, just because the company, the parent company of a company that makes Yu-Gi-Oh! Is getting acquired, doesn't necessarily mean anything for us. They could have been stopping it anyway, and we may not know. Or, it's hard to say, but I think keeping our eyes peeled in light of this news is important.
Yeah. No, I think that's very, very well said, Nick T. Dredge, gonna bring you in. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday night. I don't know if you want to touch more on the craft and stuff, or if you want to talk about 5Ds at all.
We'll talk about 5Ds. I mean, Nick T kind of hit the nail on the head with the craft and thing. When there's a takeover of any kind, there's going to be some time, so it is possible it's contributing to the lack of Yu-Gi-Oh! I wouldn't put all those eggs in one basket, though, for sure. There's a lot of things going on. The Kazuki Takahashi. You just can't pinpoint on that. Now, again, when you have nothing to watch, you are going to speculate, and that's why we have videos like this, which are awesome and fun for us to do. But talking about 5Ds, I'm a big fan of 5Ds. It's in my top 3 anime, Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, even in my top 10 of overall anime. So as somebody who watches decent anime, I can understand, wanting to rehash the past. We've talked about this. I don't know that we want. I don't think they want to go back and do that. Unfortunately, I wish they did. I wish we were going to get another like Bonds Beyond Time 2, with Yusei, with Yugi, or Jaden, or Jaden Yuki, something like that. But I just don't think we're going to get that. However, the success does show that the older, and we've said this, Dylan, a lot of the times the Rush Yu-Gi-Oh, the new Rush Yu-Gi-Oh is definitely not as popular as the original stuff, which is, it's just the way it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just a true statement. It's not insulting the integrity of those franchises. Right.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like that. It's just because of the originals, 5Ds or DM, GX. Some people would say that Yu-Gi-Oh ended after DM, but hey, those people are interesting.
Interesting.
But yeah, interesting in a way. But yeah, no, the recent success of 5Ds doesn't surprise me at all. I am surprised by, I didn't know that the Japanese channel was privating these episodes, these videos. That's interesting to me.
Yeah, news to me.
But we've talked about in private and on this channel, I don't know what it is about Konami. I think it is probably distribution rights. It probably isn't specifically Konami, but like getting the episodes here, we're missing dubbed seasons of shows. It's always been a hassle to get the Yu-Gi-Oh product in the West, the anime at least. Even realistically, right? Sevens and Go Rush until the Sevens dub has just starting to come out now. We don't have access to it, right? Without the having a VPN, or without having someone who can sub the show for us, the West would not be able to watch the sub, right? We can only watch the dub, and now that it's coming out, so it's been a while now that they've done this. I'm not sure why, but yeah, the success of 5Ds is exciting, and it's something that I think you'll see. With all the Yu-Gi-Ohs from Yu-Gi-Oh, DM, GX, maybe not so much, but 5D, even if you put out, Zexal, they start re-showing those. I mean, that's what people really love. So it'd be nice to see the same, love and respect put on the Rush shows, but I'm not sure that we'll see that. But definitely excited for the 5Ds, doing so well, and hopefully they continue to do that. Keep putting on. Maybe they decide, we shouldn't private this, and we can leave it for everyone to watch. But unfortunately, we won't know until we get further along with that.
Yeah, it's well said. I mean, I think my biggest takeaway from the 5D stuff, and again, I hope nobody, although I know people will, I hope nobody takes this as me having some sort of like, taking a pot shot at the Chronicles or anything, but I was really floored to see that these old episodes of 5Ds were outperforming by a pretty wide margin the Chronicles. And
just because the facts, you can give me more information. So were the 5Ds episodes doing better than the original, like the Sky Striker Chronicle, or just the Albaz, or all of them?
So the Sky Striker episodes got 680,000 and 320,000. And then Albaz is sitting, I believe, at like 540 right now.
Okay.
And all the 5Ds ones, I mean, the two most recent, 780 and 880.
Okay.
And or 819.
Fair.
But either way, I mean, it's over by 100,000.
Yep.
I mean,
that's right. I thought it was.
Yeah, and if you're comparing it to that second Sky Striker episode, I mean, it's more than double. It's more than double.
Yep.
And these are old episodes, again, on a region-locked channel. If Joe Schmo sitting in his, basement in Alabama or Newcastle or Sweden wanted to watch one of these episodes, unless they were using a VPN and unless they knew where to go, it's not accessible at all. And these episodes are still outperforming by a wide margin the Chronicles. You know, my thing was always, will hardcore Yu-Gi-Oh card game fans, because there's way more of those than there are anime fans, that's just always how it has been, it's a very popular card game, will they actually sit down and watch the Chronicles and watch a lore anime? I think some have, but I still think there is a lot that haven't, that just are not going to sit down and watch a Yu-Gi-Oh anime, even if it is card lore. And I think the viewership that 5Ds is getting is kind of indicative of that. Maybe that's not fully fair of me to say, but just basing it off the numbers, that's just how I feel about it at this point.
Yeah, I mean that's I think you hit the nail right on the head. I mean it's yeah, it's unfortunate but true.
Nick T.
Yeah, I do have like complicated feelings about it, because I think that the intent of the appeal of the card lore anime, the Chronicles, was to bring in people, like, to kind of encapsulate people that were into the game, and not necessarily anime, to sort of get a whole like well-rounded audience, as opposed to people that were just in for the anime. I just don't. I'm not convinced that it's capturing that audience in the way that they wanted, but I don't know if that is necessarily related to it being an anime, or if it's because it's such short format.
Right. No, very, very, very well said. I mean, it's hard to know the reason, but clearly there is a little, and I think I'm in agreement with what you're saying, right? You feel like there is a disconnect. I mean, there's an obvious disconnect.
Yes.
You have an old region-locked show getting these sorts of numbers, and the Chronicles hasn't been able to get anywhere close to it.
Right. I do think there's probably two separate points to be made there, and that's one, that the people that are going to watch the anime will watch the anime either way, whether it is Chronicles, whether it is 5Ds, but they're going to gravitate towards the show, one that is more fleshed out and is a legacy show, right, and is well beloved, as opposed to something that is 4 minutes a month. And that goes for TCG players, anime lovers, but again, like people, like you said, region lock. So like, how many of those views are from people using VPNs, or is that strictly in the East, in Japan? It's hard to say.
It is hard.
I wonder if that's a demographic that we might be able to actually know, right?
I don't.
We can't. See
yeah,
that.
No, you can't see the analytics to that degree. But like, you know, even if it is though, you know, I still think the point there is still that there's people that are watching this over, you know, the Chronicles in a large frequency.
100%.
And it just shows how much love there still is for these legacy shows. And I don't want to just say 5Ds, because I think the Zexal one starts very soon, where they're going to be streaming 10 episodes of Zexal. I'm very interested to see how that does. I have a feeling that's going to also do pretty well. Maybe not 5Ds level well, but well. Yeah, I think it's just going to be like really, really interesting to see what moves forward, you know, when it comes to like this channel over here in Japan and the viewership that we're going to be getting, you know, in regards to the Chronicles. I think it'll be really, really interesting. But yeah, I don't know.
So you actually might have an answer to this, and I'm not entirely sure, but if I'm not mistaken, are there places to stream 5Ds outside of this, like, YouTube channel and with the live streams, or no, you can't really stream that in Crunchyroll, right? So yeah. If that's the case, I would be interested to see these numbers for Zexal, knowing that it is far less accessible, right? There's not really a place you can stream.
Yeah. Now keep in mind,
those numbers might be inflated because people are like,
keep in mind, these are not subbed episodes. Like if we watch these episodes, there's no subtitles. Yeah, it's just for people that understand the language, essentially. I mean, there's
Oh.
no subtitle. That's why it's not really accessible outside of Japan, because there's no subtitles.
That changed. I, for some reason, was under the like.
Oh yeah,
under
no.
the
If they
thought that-
they subbed it into English, I would hope that they would have the wits about them to actually make it a worldwide release. I mean, that would otherwise be crazy, especially because in Japan there's a good portion of people that don't speak English, from my understanding.
Sure. Yeah. No. Of course. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So that's all Japanese viewership or people that are Japanese speaking. Yeah. I mean, even so, like Zexel is still like even. It's still hard to find. Well, not find, but like to stream.
It is.
Those numbers still may be inflated given that fact.
Yeah, it absolutely could be. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to just keep an eye on that. Obviously, we still have some things to get to here. Jump Victory Carnival coming up July 12th, 10 days. Very, very excited about that. Me and the boys will give our top 5 most likely outcomes from Jump Victory Carnival. That's coming up next. And of course, later on, the pulse of the community. Do we have any donations that you boys want to go over? And before we get into them, I do want to thank all of you guys for watching and making the Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Show a part of your Wednesday night routine.
We got one on your end and one on our end.
Perfect.
Yes.
I actually believe I have 2 on my end. Dark Emperor J, thank you
there
for
you
the
go.
$2 donation. I forgot to ask Dredge if he has any stories from turning the lights off and throwing crap at each other that you guys talked about last After Dark.
Wow.
I mean, I feel like it's the same stories. You throw stuff in the dark and bad things are going to happen. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, as a kid, we did some...
Boys being boys.
Some dudes being dudes, boys being boys. Yeah, same thing. Lights
Stupid.
go off. Someone decides to throw something a little heavier than they should. Hits in a sensitive spot or the face. And
Russo
it's
gets
not
hit in
fun.
the nuts,
But,
and then we call it.
Russo's nuts were a magnet. It was impressive how often they would get hit. But yeah, it was
Were
a
you the
fun time.
target?
And- what?
Were you the target of any of that? I don't recall.
I mean, I was, but I think because of my, like, I guess we'll argue I had a mean streak when I was younger. I was like, not even that mean streak. I was just the scariest one of the group, which is really sad because I'm not scary,
You still might
being
be.
honest. Yeah, but that's like, I mean, we're 31.
We're
so
not a
there's-
scary group.
No, we're
No, we're not.
But the fact that
That's
I'm
what I
the-
mean.
I'm
By
the
comparison.
scariest is like concerning. But yeah, so
Yeah, you're not
because I think
scary.
people were a little scared of me to throw stuff at me. So yeah, I really was never the target. I don't know why Russo's a pretty big guy too, but we always mess with him. So yeah, but nothing, no cool stories before, just the same. So I can't think of, like, my memory is not great either, which doesn't help. So I don't have one that just pops in my head.
Fair. Dark Emperor J, thank you for another $2 donation.
2.
Random
Nice.
food question. Sorry, Kevin. Carrie asked this on Dax stream, but what is the weirdest food you've ever seen? Apparently, we discovered deep fried butter is a thing in Texas. I'm not joking. I was actually aware of deep fried butter. It happened over the weekend. For the first time in my life, I saw escargot, and that was, it didn't look weird, but it,
I'm trying to figure out when you saw this because I didn't see it and I was with
Yeah,
you,
where
so I'm
did
a
you
little-
did you
little
see someone
confused.
bring it out?
DJ got it.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
Yes, he did.
What?
Yes, he did.
I was on that side of the table.
He
so
got
I
it as
really
an
can't
appetizer.
attest.
Yeah.
That's wild. He did?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was, and then I peer pressured and bullied Tim into having a try, and he did not like
What
it.
did Tim say about it?
He did not like it.
Oh, boy. Yikes.
Yeah, I would never eat it, but I said, it's my bachelor party, man. You got to have it.
That's bullying. I think I said this before. I think I've said it. The fried crickets were something that I had that was interesting.
Yeah.
I don't got anything weirder than that. I mean, there's some weird stuff, but that's what that I've physically seen. That's probably it. Yep.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, and then we have one more before we get to the predictions.
Yes. Want me to read it, George?
Yeah, you got this.
And it's a classic. It is $5 from Goose.
Goose. We love Goose. Goose,
we
thank you,
love
man.
Goose.
Thank you so much, man.
And Goose's message reads, "Long live Yu-Gi-Oh! Sending positive vibes and kindness to everyone and keep things PG. Positively Goose."
This week, Goose, thank you so much for the super chat. I miss Goose. Hopefully we will see him soon. Maybe at Jump Victory Carnival. Although I have not planned to do anything that weekend because I don't know if it's getting streamed. But Goose, thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, and the positive vibes. Yeah, I think it's gonna be like interesting. I've gotten a lot of really kind messages this week. Shout out to Ederlop. He wrote a very, very kind message to me. And yeah, I think it's gonna be like really, really interesting to see. There's just a lot of great vibes here. A lot of you guys, I can feel the love and appreciation, and I'm so appreciative of all of you. Little Vane thing here that I'll announce. Yesterday was the most views this channel has ever gotten in a single day. We broke the record. Yeah, on Tuesday, July 1st, we got 123,000. Oh, sorry, Dredge.
You didn't let me guess.
Sorry,
That's
Dredge.
okay. That's amazing, man. 123,000 in one day.
Yeah, Sunday was the
Wild.
third most ever. It was 111, and then yesterday became the most ever. Yeah, breaking a November 22 record. So very,
Congrats,
very
man. That's
exciting.
awesome.
Yeah, no, thank
Very
you,
exciting.
and shout out to all of you guys as well, because it's possible only because of you guys, only because of the love that you guys have shown this channel. So yeah, let's keep rocking and rolling. Very, very exciting.
What was the video that broke that record?
Really, the shorts. There were two
Of course.
shorts uploaded over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday that both have right now, I think, like 100,000 views, and they were just
Awesome,
uploaded
dude.
this weekend. Yeah, really cool. No, I've said it. Like we've really become a shorts and a streaming channel, which is fine. You know, the shorts I feel very, very confident in and good about, and I'm glad that so many people really enjoy them. So it's really cool. Goose, love you, man. Appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving into our list. Top 5 Jump Victory Carnival outcomes. Now, the text looks shot because my site that I usually use is down and has been down since 5 o'clock,
That
unfortunately.
actually looks fine. I didn't even notice.
All right,
Yeah,
good.
it looks totally fine.
Okay, good. I guess in my mind it looked a lot worse than it actually was. Normally we have a goofy little audio intro here, but I don't have that because it's me that's actually leading it. Jump Victory Carnival. First of all, in case you're unfamiliar of it, it is basically a mini Jump Festa. That's kind of what I consider a Jump Victory Carnival to be. There is a history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Announcing things on the anime side. 2019, they announced that they were working on a new anime, which ended up being Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. So it's not totally impossible that we will get something here. All right, number 5. Top 5 likely Jump Victory Carnival outcomes. Number 5 is nothing. Number 5 is that we get absolutely nothing. They don't address it. They don't do anything with it. It's certainly a possibility, but you know what? Good vibes only. I don't think it's going to happen. Number 4, a DM reboot. Let me set the stage. Seto Kaiba's voice actor comes out. He's came out on stage, an unannounced guest, and he announces, hey, I'm about to go on a world tour, Anime New York City. I'll be there next month. We are going to be launching a Duel Monsters reboot. That's why you have a producer that's going to be hopping on a flight in just a couple of short months to head to Manhattan, to head to Times Square, to head to the big city and Anime New York City to join Kenjiro Suda in Anime New York City. It all starts in Jump Victory Carnival when the DM reboot gets announced. Number 3, the recent success that Konami has seen in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds re-airing on their YouTube channel, and they said, we got to capitalize on this. A 5Ds sequel is announced.
Oh my God.
The fans rejoice. They go absolutely nuts. Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds getting a recent boost, of course, because of the viewership numbers that we've had over in Japan on the YouTube channel, and the 5Ds sequel that some people have been waiting for 14 years is announced, and the whole crowd goes absolutely nuts. Number 2, Yu-Gi-Oh! 9. Listen, I think this is certainly a likely possibility. Now, when I say Yu-Gi-Oh! 9, I don't mean the trailer. I don't mean they're showing the protagonist. I don't mean they're really telling us anything about this show. When I say Yu-Gi-Oh! 9, what I mean by that is, hey, we are working on a new anime. We are going to unveil it at a later date, at a later time, which of course will be Jump Festa. Basically taking a playbook. You say, Dylan, that's crazy. It happened in 2019 at this event. We've seen it happen at this event before. 2019 it happened. I think we get the same exact thing here in 2025. Yu-Gi-Oh! 9. And then, of course, number 1, and I had to kind of come back down to earth. They come out and they say, regarding the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, stay tuned. And I got to tell you what, if I hear those dreaded words of stay tuned for future updates, I am going to fall back in my chair and punch a hole through my door and yell into the corn out here in Delaware. I'm going to be very, very upset. But sadly, I do think that is the number one likely. It'll be addressed, but we stay tuned. But those are my top 5. Nick T, your thoughts on my top 5?
Man. I mean, you know what? Like, I love the pipe dream. I love the pipe dream.
Pipe dream. These are some real options, man.
No. Maybe 3 of them are real options. Nothing being one of them. Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 maybe being one of them. And Stay Tuned, by the way, is probably the most likely.
Well, that's why I put it at number 1.
And but 5D sequel and DM reboot. I mean, come on.
Let me say something, by the way. These are not things that I necessarily would want. These are things that I think are the most likely. I'm really not very interested. I'm not very interested in a DM reboot, although the other the 1 and 5 I'm not interested in. You give me a 5D sequel or Yu-Gi-Oh! 9, we're going for a run. That's one of those Forrest Gump moments where the shirt's coming off in a weekend and a half, and I am running around the block for hours in pure hyped up adrenaline, for sure.
I love that you called it a Forrest Gump moment.
All right, Dredge, do you want to start your top 5? Or do you want to address mine?
I just have one question. Have you ever seen Forrest Gump?
I have seen Forrest Gump, yes.
The whole movie?
I have seen the whole movie, yeah.
Okay.
Do you know how it ends?
I do know how it ends. It's a sad ending.
I'll do my top 5. I think I was taught at a young age, when you have nothing nice to say nothing at all. So that's how I'm gonna look at your top 5, and I'm like, I do love the enthusiasm, the energy you put in it, though, because some of those on there would be pretty good. So I'll give you that. But on the actual likelihood of them, I don't know. I also think Nick T's being funnier. I want to say I think I know Nick T pretty well. I feel like he got even more wild stuff than you. That's the crazy part.
No, I do.
Yeah, see there, yeah, exactly. So like I'm gonna be the one that everyone in the chat will be like, oh, Dredgers actually makes sense. Like, what I will guarantee you now, I'll make the most sense, because I my brain couldn't even think to do like a meme one of this, but we'll see.
Well, Dredger, doctor, number 5. What do we got?
So number 5, I do actually 1,000% agree is nothing. I do think,
okay,
as you've called this, the mini Jump Festa, there's no way that this is just like a little, like, I don't even know what it would be exactly for it to show nothing. I do think it's extremely unlikely to show anything. Like, it just wouldn't make sense, even if it's just like something simple, new cards or something like that. So nothing is the least likely of these 5.
Okay, and number 4.
Number 4, it's going to kind of put 1 and 2 of yours together. News on Yu-Gi-Oh! 9, meaning we get that stay tuned, the little hashtag, or we get the Yu-Gi-Oh! 9's coming out in a year, we're working on, or something along those lines. I think it's likely enough, because this is the point where if they wait till Jump Festa, it just would really stink, and I think we need some information, even if it's not the most positive.
Okay, well, number 3, doctor.
They're going to talk about number 3. This is something that's been airing. Something they want to get more people watching. As you just said, 5Ds is outshining this. The Animation Chronicles is being outshined by an older show, as you just spoke on. They want you to watch Animation Chronicles. They're going to talk about Albaz. They're going to talk about Sky Striker. Maybe they'll announce what's coming after Albaz. I don't know. Maybe they will. So that's something I think they'll definitely want to kind of talk about. It's the only thing they have coming out right now, even though it is once a month. It's what they have going. They need you to be into that to keep Konami Animation going.
Okay, love it. Number 2.
Numero dos. These are the most legit ones, I think. TCG news. I'm not sure exactly if there's any kind of card game stuff normally at these events. I do think, though, TCG, they always want to make money, right? Konami's all about the money. TCG news, new card, new box, new this, new that. You got to buy it. They want you to spend money. So that just made sense. No, Janet, my next one, we'll answer that. And my number 1 is the OCG news.
Okay.
So
wow.
I think that makes the most sense. It's in Japan, right? It's about Japan. Realistically, as you've said, this might be region lock where you need your VPN. So there's no reason for them to not talk about it. It's for that area. So OCG news is 100% the most likely thing to talk about. But again, I don't know exactly because I don't know what Victory Jump Carnival fully is. I feel like I don't know. So, but I think that makes the most sense.
Well, listen, when I constructed my top 5, I looked at the card game stuff and I said, throw it out of there.
I mean, I don't want the card game stuff, but I just feel like Konami's about money. So the card game sells. It just does.
All right, well, that's Dredger's top 5. Nick T, are you ready for your top 5?
I am ready. Before
Maestro.
I read mine, Maestro, I want to say I didn't even consider the card game stuff, but he's spot on.
I considered it, but didn't put it.
If there is some kind of announcement, it's gonna be card game news. But you know, I forgot that was a thing.
This is gonna be good. I'm excited. I gotta get some popcorn for this. I already know.
Yeah. So here we go.
All right, Nick T, number 5.
No one's gonna be happy about this one.
I love it.
Number 5, announcement of the end of weekly Yu-Gi-Oh for the foreseeable future.
Oh my god.
Sorry, guys.
That's wild.
Wow, really,
Man.
really starting with a big one there.
Yeah, but hey, you know,
Hey, it's the least likely on this list. So
it's the least likely of the likely outcomes.
But you still put it on the list.
It's still on the list.
I love it. Hey, Nick T,
They're like-
well said.
They're like,
Oh,
listen,
God.
we're at the halfway point here between Jump Festas, and
We just want to let you down easy.
yeah, like obviously, I'm sure you as the audience noticed that we didn't announce anything for Yu-Gi-Oh 9, a weekly Yu-Gi-Oh, and there's a reason for that.
That would be wild.
Not the end, but the end of it for the foreseeable future. We don't know.
That would be just throat ripping, man, if we got that.
Yeah.
But jeez.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Nick T, the end is number 5. What's number 4?
Now Dylan's gonna love this.
Oh no.
The true Otis identity. Spoiler: it's Seto Kaiba.
So wait. They're gonna announce at this event Otis was Seto Kaiba all along.
They're gonna do like a whole bit. It's gonna be like someone's gonna come out dressed
Well, that's
as.
still. Why do you think Seto Kaiba's making this trip to the U.S. to announce these Otis? Because Yu-Gi-Oh 7s.
No, I mean, and
That's what
again,
it is.
spell Otis's name backwards. It's been there
It's
the whole
Seto.
time,
Seto.
right? You say that.
In a full circle moment, you know, we brought this up or very early on when Otis was initially introduced.
I made a video on it before 7's
We made a
aired.
video on it.
God,
Yeah.
Wild.
Now, like, yeah, imagine you were at this thing, a guy dressed as Otis, you know, walks out, he's dueling,
That
and
would
then
be
he,
wild.
boom, Seto Kaiba cosplay, yeah.
Let's go.
Or Kenjiro Sudo, who's going to be on some sort of media tour coming up to Anime New York City.
Exactly.
Oh my
That's
God.
why he's hyping up Otis.
Oh my God. All right. Nick T, the maestro, number 3. What do you got?
Duel Links movie.
Let's go. Let's
you
go.
know what? I'm riding. You know, I said you were riding a pipe dream. I'm riding a pipe dream. Listen, I don't know if actually it's official, but at least the graphic for the Yu-Gi-Oh centered content for this event has Duel Links on it. Right, there is Duel Links content. Involved in this event. Why not announcement of a Duel Links movie? You know, kind of combining the worlds that we, you know, sort of a what was the movie?
Oh, Bonds
Dark Side of Dimension.
Yeah.
Dark Side of Dimensions style thing. You know, there's a lot of overlap with Duel Links. Boom, Duel Links movie.
I think it's genius. I think it needs to happen.
If
All right.
anyone thinks my list is not the best, you're wild. That's all I'm gonna
Nick
say.
T,
This is
number
crazy.
2.
Number 2 is probably my most realistic one. Nothing. Absolutely
All right,
nothing's
there we
going to
go.
get announced. Yeah.
There we go.
Damn.
That was your best one.
All right. Well, all right. So what, in your mind, what is the most,
man.
I'm nervous to ask, what is the
I'm
most
nervous.
likely Jump Victory Carnival outcome?
It's not entirely dissimilar from your number 4, but it's not a reboot. It's not a Duel Master reboot. It's another Duel Masters
No.
remaster.
No
And-
shot.
An even worse crop job. They're doing like super super
frick,
wide
dude.
screen, so you lose
I'm
everything at the top and the
I'm
bottom of the
done.
screen.
They,
That's wild.
they remaster it to like some form of 4K, and it's just
Yeah, so it's
terrible.
like, yeah, it's horrible.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, well, I've said it before. If they do like a 5Ds remaster, which is already in HD, well, you know, Nick T, you had some fun with this one.
I did have some fun with it. Hey, you know what? I wanted to. Truly, we're being like throwing the list away. I almost have no idea what to expect here, but I think as far as actual likely outcomes, like maybe it's probably going to be like a stay tuned, news coming soon kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think
Oh,
we're going to
yeah.
get. I really don't think we're going to get an official announcement of anything. But
Yeah.
it was fun to make the list, and I think stay tuned, but not in like a negative way. In like we've got something for you, but we just can't tell you yet.
Yeah.
When
kind
will
of
we
thing.
know? When will we know if this is being streamed?
I don't know when we'll know. Usually there's a panel, but like I have no idea. I really don't know when it's being streamed, if it's being streamed. I mean, I'm only going to be live if they're actually streaming it. But yeah, definitely, you know, great list. I mean,
Great list?
this was
That's
one of those I said have some fun with it because it's just so
You did.
we're in such a ridiculous time period right now when it comes to the Yu-Gi-Oh anime. Konami, they clearly don't really care too much about keeping people up to date on what's going on with the product. So hey, let's have some fun with it. And I think we did.
Yeah, I think we did. I just want to point out, because Psychic Master pointed it out, I did not even put Yugioh 9 on the list.
Yikes.
You think a guy dressed as Otis being revealed to be Seto Kaiba is more likely than
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh 9?
Yeah.
No, you know what? No. Honestly, Nick T, play into that. I think that's hilarious. You're so confident we're not going to get anything on a new show at this event that you pick the most ridiculous things because you think those are more likely than actually getting a Yu-Gi-Oh 9.
Yeah, I mean, like genuinely, yes, because I don't think this is going to be the event for it.
Yeah.
Truly, like that's where I'm at. It's like I don't think this is the event for it.
I'm very hopeful that what we had in 2019 happens at this event. And I think, you know, the exciting thing about this event, and I've been saying it for weeks, months now even, unlike Anime Japan, unlike Jumpstart or Next Turn or all these things, there is a precedent of a Yu-Gi-Oh anime product being announced at this event in the past, whereas with all of those other, you know, panels and events, there's no track record of that at all. So while not as common as Jump Festa or even like the V-Jump magazine, which I believe is where 5Ds and Zale were first announced, this is an event that we've actually had a precedent before, and I think that's what certainly makes it exciting, even if still unlikely.
No, you're definitely right, and I realize now I am kind of switching my tune. I think the last time this came up, this event, I was pretty on board with you.
Well, you also believed that something was going to happen at New York City Anime because of the producer with Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's why I've changed my tune, honestly. Like initially we brought up, we're talking about Jump Victory Carnival, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's a good point. There's a precedent set. It does feel extremely likely that like if we haven't heard anything yet, there's a precedent for something to be like announced in some regard. But the significance of what is happening at Anime New York City just feels like it may be the better stage for something like this.
Yeah. No,
for something like that kind of announcement.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting for sure to see what happens. But a lot of fun there. Polls of the community still coming. Of those lists, I mean, who do you think had the most realistic?
Dredger. Come on.
I would argue mine.
No,
No.
I wouldn't.
Well, what's crazy about mine?
You know what's funny? You're only one that's number one. Your number one actually makes your list the best, but your other four, like them announcing you, like I mean, sequel DM reboot.
I don't think we're gonna get any like card game news here.
Yeah, see,
I don't see why we wouldn't.
Well, TCG, I'd be stunned because that's
OCG.
OCG. I think they have their own like thing that they do.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of OCG type content going on here, right? Isn't like?
Yeah, I mean, we could OCG. We certainly could, but think about it.
Like so look at it like this, right? So
Yu-Gi-Oh 9 and nothing cancel each other out. Yep,
cancel out.
Yep.
They're 100% talk about Animation Chronicles is not on your list.
I don't think they're going to
he's
talk
right.
about the Chronicles.
Why wouldn't they?
Why would they?
It's a Yu-Gi-Oh product, is it not? It's the only thing they have going for them right now.
It is, but we know that like branded is through November unless they're going to reveal something for December.
They don't need to reveal. They're going to discuss it and want you to watch it because they have no. What else are they going to tell you to do? Play the card game. Oh, well, there's no card game news. Oh, watch the show. Oh, we have no show.
Well,
Watch
Master
animation.
Duel and Duel Links still will be.
Yeah,
The Duel
play
Links
the games.
movie.
Okay, the games. Yeah. No. Don't even put Nick T's in there. That's terrible. DM reboot would be crazy. 5DC would be crazy. So your Stay Tuned is very good.
I think
agree
Stay Tuned carries my list.
It does.
That,
No,
yeah,
it does.
The only thing on your list. Yeah, you're right. It is.
All right. Well, it's a good debate. It's a good debate.
It is a good debate. Right.
But Nick T, you had the most fun. I'll say that for
Nick
sure.
T did have a
Thank
good
you.
time.
I tried to have a good time with it.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, all right. Well, listen, we'll read a few more donations if we have them, and then we're gonna go into the pulse of the community. We do have
Pulse.
the pulse. We do have a donation here from user Fatboy. Fatboy, thank you for the $2 donation. Hi, Dylan, Nick T, and Dredger. Who would win in a duel between Yuamu and Yuga? Also, I have a physical coming up, and I heard Dredger was a doctor. Is Dredger taking new patients? I'll let you answer that first, Dredge.
No, I'm not going to answer that, actually.
So the answer is no. He's not taking new patients.
I'm. That's not what I said. You can listen to these words very clearly. You can cut it every way you want it. I'm not answering the question.
All right, no question there. Sorry, Fat Boy. Who wins between Yuamu and Yuga? I'm gonna go Yuamu. To be honest with you.
I mean, it depends. Are there high stakes?
So
if there's high stakes, Yuga wins. If there's no stakes, Yumu wins. It's that simple.
Yeah, no, he's right. That's
exactly what it
good.
is. If something's on the line, Yuga wins. If it's just a duel to see who's better, Yumu.
Yeah, like Yuga comes to play where it counts.
When Yuga shows up, Yuga's the bottom of the ninth guy you need. You know.
Yeah, but up until then, he doesn't care really. Not that he's bad, he just doesn't care.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I just don't. I don't know. I just think you
really don't like Yuga.
No, it's not that. I like Yuga as a character. I think he's a great character, man. I look at Yuga. I look at a guy like.
time.
No, it's true though. I look at a guy like Yuga, and I'm like, man, what a guy that he is. He's just such a good dude. But I'll say this: if I was going to be sent to the Shadow Realm, if he lost a duel, I would send a goodbye text in the middle of the duel. I'll tell you that. I would send a goodbye. Wow. Yeah, I'd send a goodbye text.
You're wild for that.
Yeah, I'd send a goodbye text to all my loved ones, saying goodbye before the duel even concluded.
You're wow.
No, and that's actually out of respect. That's actually out of respect for the people in my life.
In what regard?
For the people in my life.
Regard, please.
Yeah, that's out of respect. It's a beautiful thing.
Dude, you. Never mind. It's not.
What?
I don't.
What?
Like, how many clutch duels that he couldn't lose did Yuga lose? He didn't lose any. Before you even try to look, how many duels that Yumu kind of needed to win and she lost?
Several.
Multiple. When she took over for Yuga. Like, there's what do you mean? The clutch duelist is Yuga. It's not even a question. Like, the fact that you're actually trying to gaslight us into thinking Yuga couldn't clutch up is wild. Now, again, is Yuga a good duelist in comparison to the protagonist? No, Yuga is the worst, probably the worst protagonist duelist. I'm not arguing that.
By far.
You're right. Okay. Wow. But if money...
This man...
He's the worst, dude. He's the worst. Money on the line, though, it's Yuga. Every time. And anyone who's arguing that is just wrong. Like, it doesn't matter. Please argue me in chat how Yumu hasn't won a clutch duel, but Yuga wins all of them, and Yumu would beat Yuga. Please. Just tell me how that happened.
I would not. In my hypothetical...
Now he changes his...
No. When I was talking about... I didn't mean Yuamu specifically. I meant Yuga versus anyone, like, of equal caliber.
So here's the thing. Now we're going to get interesting. You put Udius... This isn't fair, but the Udius Yuga in... If Yuga loses, his world's destroyed. That's when you got to start asking questions, because then it gets interesting.
Yeah, you ask a lot of questions like, man, how did this happen? What's going to happen to all those people when they lose their world? Like, you definitely start asking a lot of questions there. And it's no, you definitely have to ask questions. Why did we send Yugioh and not Luke for this duel? Yeah, there's definitely a lot of questions you can ask.
Honestly, because Yugioh's still a better clutch duelist than Luke too. I'll argue that too.
Whoa. Okay.
You're.
But they dueled in a clutch. They dueled in a clutch moment at the end of season 1.
Dylan, that wasn't clutch.
They also dueled in a clutch moment at the end of the show.
The last episode of the show, for Luke to stay with Yugioh, who wins that duel?
Yugioh wins by cheating, but he does win, yes.
He never cheated. That's not cheating.
We added a copy of a card that wasn't in his deck to the deck.
What do you mean? That's not cheating. He could add. It was pre-deck. It was a loud card. What do you mean?
All I know is against Goha Yugioh fainted, and Luke had to take over and win that duel. That's all I know.
You're not wrong. That's a statement.
Hold on.
That's a fair statement.
So, but did he lose that duel?
Yugioh? No. He didn't win it.
Yugioh
but he didn't lose it.
Technically. Yeah.
Yeah, so he didn't win. He did not lose the duel.
Yeah.
He did not lose, no. But thanks to Luke. Thank God Luke was there, man. If Luke wasn't there, I actually really upsets me to think what would have happened. Thank God for Luke. No, I mean, really, no. I mean, he passed out. He passed out. It was terrible.
Yes. The problem is you just play your own tune. I'm talking about one thing. You just kind of always bring up something else.
Well, no, we're talking about clutch duel. That was an important duel.
And I agree with you. However, Luke is still not more clutch than Yugioh. It's as simple as that.
You know what?
It's not even a question.
Well, who's the better duelist?
I will say. Hold on.
Luke, Heartbeat.
Okay.
I'll snap call you Luke, but
I will say this.
Okay, go Nick T. I'll let you go.
No, you go. No, I'm sorry. You
No.
Luke is LeBron and Yugioh is Halliburton. That's what you'd say. Luke is SGA.
The Halliburton.
Yugioh is Halliburton. Right. Yeah. Okay, and that's fair. I'm fine with that.
Now I'm gonna say this.
I never said that for reference. Never said.
I have this to say is that like I appreciate your commitment to like the trash talk about it because it very much reminds me of a character from the show we're discussing, and that's Hunt, who was very much a big trash talker. So like I respect the parallel between you and him.
You're reaching at straws. He wasn't a trash talker. He was just like a snot-nosed spoiled brat.
At first, and then when he was like, he was trash talking all this when he had the gold, and no, it was
God,
legendary.
Wild, dude. This is wild. Oh man!
All it took was someone to knock him down a peg. So your reckoning's coming.
Who, Hunt? Well, who knocked him down?
I actually don't even remember, to be honest.
I don't know, dude. I don't know that stuff.
I would argue that he never changed.
He definitely got knocked down a peg. He definitely lost.
I mean, he did lose to Yugioh. Yugioh blindsided him with a maximum, but he did lose to Yugioh, yeah. Yugioh saw what was happening to him. He said, well, I'm getting blindsided. I'll blindside someone else. But it was a good duel. We do have a $2 donation here from Delayed on MTA. Thank you so much, Delayed. Here is his top 5 most likely outcomes from Victory Jump Carnival. 5.
I'm excited.
Nothing. Number 4, Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles merch, Ray waifu pillows. Number 3,
Chronicle, I like that.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles teaser. Number 2, Yu-Gi-Oh! Art merch. That would be cool. Number 1, Yu-Gi-Oh! DM GX 5Ds figures. Yeah, that would like statues, What do you think of
he was cooking in the bottom half. I don't know the top half. I mean, I don't know. Is this something they do? Did you do merch at this event?
Where's his Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 prediction?
It's Dylan. Bro, Dylan, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. We gotta have a real talk for about the next 30 seconds. You need to not get yourself hyped. Like, please, for your sanity, for your health. No. Let me finish. For your sanity and for your health. Now, again, if it happens, man, I hope you watch it. I hope you have an amazing experience. But please,
I hope you have an amazing day.
Yeah, I really do. But don't make it more. Please don't, because you're just gonna get so upset and frustrated. Just watch it. Hope it comes out. If it does, man, and that'll be. You'll be calling us. I know right now, not like a group call, and we'll be super excited. But I mean, I don't agree that you should keep your expectation at 0. I think that's incorrect. But like,
No.
you're. I know.
Well,
what
let me say
you're
this.
doing,
Let me
and
say this.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Whatever's
Right.
going to happen in 10 days or at Jump Festa is going to happen, you know?
Agreed.
So I think you should try to enjoy the journey as much as you can.
Yes, and I do think that, but I think by you having such high expectations, high standards, you are not going to enjoy the journey.
Well, hang on. I said in my video today, I gave it a 20 to 25% chance.
Yeah, I
did
did
say
hear that.
that.
I watched your video. It was a good
Yeah.
video. I watched the video.
I appreciate that.
It was a good video.
I appreciate that.
I actually did watch it today.
No,
Wow,
how
that's
about that, Nick T? Nick T's got his once like 4-month quota, so I really do appreciate it, Nick T. And that's a long form video too. You can watch a short, be done in 50 seconds.
8 minutes and 51 seconds, if I remember correctly.
I will say, like I watched plenty of the shorts.
Yeah.
But yeah, the long format videos,
Yeah, those are tough to sit through. I get it.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not saying you can't enjoy the journey. Just
I
please
like
temper your
I like
expectations.
to stay positive, and I like
Yeah, I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying you can't. Like, I think they'll discuss Yu-Gi-Oh! 9.
I like to believe. Well, if they discuss Yu-Gi-Oh 9, then Yu-Gi-Oh 9's happening. I mean, if they discuss Yu-Gi-Oh 9,
No, because they're going to discuss that they're working on it. Stay tuned.
oh well, well, stay tuned for future updates is different than we are working on a new anime. Those are two different things.
We're working on a new Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 anime. Stay tuned.
If
How about
if
that?
they
Is
say
better?
that, yeah, I'm gonna get some
That's
noise
what they're gonna
complaints.
say.
Yeah, well, if they say that, I'm gonna get that's huge news.
always complaints.
You're acting like it would be a nothing burger. That if they confirm
not-
they're working on a new show, that would be massive.
I'm not saying that it wouldn't be. I think. What do you mean? I'm not. That'd be a great thing.
It would be.
You're just saying hedge your
Yeah.
expectations about what we'll
Yeah.
possibly get.
I'm
Yeah,
hedged.
that's all I'm saying.
I'm hedged.
No, you're not.
Of course,
No,
I'm
you're
hedged. I'm
No,
I'm a big
He's
hedger.
hedging.
I'm hedging.
Because he doesn't even know what hedging is, dude. This guy.
I'm a,
Oh my god.
okay.
I'm a
Okay.
huge hedger. Yeah.
Let me
okay.
say that. Let me say that. All right, that was good. Let me say this. I think it's good to remain optimistic. It's good to be
Agreed.
positive. It's
Yeah.
good to just love life, man. Right? Like you live La Vida
Laugh,
Loca.
love.
Yeah,
Live, laugh,
and
love,
you
is
just
that what you say?
enjoy life. And I think that's
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's going to be a really important mindset. Listen, Yu-Gi-Oh anime fans, we've been kicked in the face throughout this last like 7 months. So let's go. Wow, you like that, Nick T?
No, you're right. You're right, man.
This 7 months, like I remember right after Anime Japan, a user in my community that's been in my community for years literally wrote in the Discord, I can't do this anymore. I'm leaving. And I haven't heard from him since, and I'll probably never hear from him again. And I'm sure there's many people that have had that same thought that have left and just haven't like publicly announced it in a Discord server. So, it's a situation. Yeah.
Now, do you think that has anything to do with the lack of announcement for Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 or just like more with you?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a great question. Actually.
People can enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh without me. I'm not like a need for people to enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh.
No,
In
it's-
fact, for some people, it probably is the opposite. I need to be not around for them to enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh.
They enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! In spite of you.
Oh my god, that's wild.
And that's fine. I'm not going to be for everyone. I mean, that's just making content. I'm fine with that. But like, we should remain, I think, positive and optimistic. And let's have some fun. Let's have some fun, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do agree with that.
Cool. Let's have some fun. All right. Well, listen, speaking of positive and having some fun, are you guys ready for the polls?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. I don't have the sound bit queued up, so I'll do my impression the best I can. It's time for the pulse of the community. Let's go. I don't do it as well as Cal did. Nick T, you've got a couple of comments for us. Usually you guys like to, well, actually, no, last week or last episode, you guys just ripped me to shreds. Nick T, what do you got for me to kick this off?
So I actually have a 1 and a 1.5. They're kind of back-to-back related comments here.
Okay.
One being, sorry. This comes from Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles episode 3, Albaz episode reaction.
Great one.
Hey, man. Coming from someone who is bald, you just gotta let your hair go and rock the mustache. Love your videos.
So the hair allegations will never be beaten.
I've noticed, what's the 1.5?
Well, Reigns has held up better than Dylan's hairline. Coming from Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime Survived the Production
Yo,
Nightmare.
that's rough. That's rough.
Can I just, well, first of all, some people wouldn't agree with that. Can I just say this?
That's wild.
Can I just say this? And I figured this out. you guys love kicking this segment off with something to do with my body, whether it's the mustache, whether it's the balding. You love kicking it off that way. Am I
think
wrong?
You're attacking the wrong person, man. It's your community keeps writing these comments. We're just finding them.
How
It's
these
not, we're not writing
comments?
them.
I want
You're
to know.
shooting the messenger.
Yeah,
They're new, dude. These are new.
I know they're
videos.
new videos. I feel like Alex V has something to do with this. I don't know why. I don't know.
I
I don't know if he's
probably-
here. I just feel like he has something to do with this. You know what I
He's
mean?
been around. I saw him in chat.
Or
today.
Delayed. I feel like Delayed is another one. We know Delayed is here. Thank you for the donation earlier. Just feel like, yeah, something's going on. Something fishy's going on.
There's planting comments in your video.
Planting comments about my baldness. I mean, the top comment is really very complimentary. Love your videos.
Yeah, it's really nice.
That's why I think they were good back to back, is because they were kind of different perspectives. One was a little bit of an insult, saying that your hairline's going, but the other was like, hey, like embrace that. It's you can really rock it with the stash, and you could rock it without the stash, by the way.
Yeah.
You could do whatever you want.
And love your videos of the heart. Very nice message. All right. Well, Dredge, what's the first
Great
one
guy.
you got for me? Is it about my hairline?
We're not going to discuss your hairline here. We're gonna have some fun here.
Oh, jeez.
This is from the top 50 strongest duelist.
Oh,
videos.
no. Oh,
The time stamp is when they talk about Kaiba at number 13.
Okay.
Takahashi is turning in his grave.
Jesus.
The fact that you don't understand that Yugi is number 1 and Kaiba is number 2 forever means you know nothing about this series. Dylan, thoughts?
How do you feel about that? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I want to use a word that I really, an expletive that I'm not going to use.
Boomer?
But,
Yugi Boomer?
well, no, that would actually be kinder than the
That would be nice,
word that
yeah,
came to
right.
my mind.
I know the word you're thinking of.
Yeah, I do not like the way you said that. Well, let me say this. I had somebody ask me yesterday during the Duel Monsters watch along, hey, why do so many people not like Duel Monsters? It's because Duel Monsters, unfortunately, is filled with fans like this user. I'm not even going to comment on the ridiculousness. Kaiba, by the way, is not even number 2 in his own show. So that's an absolute, I mean, he's not. So to say he's number 2 in the franchise is absolutely insane. If you want to argue Yugi is number 1, that's fine. I'm actually more grotesque that you have Kaiba at number 2.
That's wild.
But then also to invoke Takahashi's name in any way to make any sort of gotcha point is just one of the, shittiest things you can do, to be frank. So the comment would have been bad enough without that top line, but that top line makes the comment, to me, really, really disgusting.
Unforgivable, yeah.
Yeah, unforgivingly disgusting. So, I mean, there's not even these are the kind of people you don't even have dialogue with, because there's no point. They're so hard-headed and ridiculous. There's just no point. And this is the most douchey Yugi Boomer comment I think I have ever seen in my life. And I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot, but this sums it up. I mean, this sums it up. Yeah, Nick T.
Just you hold tight.
Oh God. Well, this is literally it's just your. Okay. I need a new comment. Nick T, what's the next one?
Number 3. This one comes from the only Arc 5 legacy character who never dueled. Yuya is Arc short. Wait, when I found this, I didn't realize there was a typo in it. Boring AF. No one cares about the. I'll just read it without the typos, but just keep in mind there are typos as I'm reading it. Boring AF. No one cares about these characters. Alexis gets a pass because still part of the sexy era of Yu-Gi-Oh.
What does that even mean?
But there was a
sexy part of the Yu-Gi-Oh era? What?
Yeah, you guys aren't familiar with the sexy era of Yu-Gi-Oh?
No.
I
don't know anything about that.
Oh my God. I mean, this is, and by the way, this was on an Arc 5 short.
Yeah, what did Alexis have to do with that?
Well, Alexis was the only legacy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
oh my God. I mean, I mean, this is more funny than anything else.
Especially reading it with no one is OME and these is YHESE. It's the only 2 typos, but reading it just really cracks me up.
Yeah,
this is wild.
It cracks me up as well. And like usually you get these kind of comments on like the Rush stuff, like, oh man, Yu-Gi-Oh is so horrible now. But to get it on Arc 5 is again, this is another like Gen Boomer Yu-Gi-Oh comment. You guys really found some classic Gen Boomer Yu-Gi-Oh comments.
There's a theme here.
I love that. Right. Alexis gets a pass because she's still part of the sexy era of Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh my God. That is funny. That is funny. Jesus. I don't really have, I'm actually pretty speechless, Nick T. That one got me speechless. I actually don't have really anything to say. I don't even know what to say to it. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
It really is. All right. Dredger, you got one for me?
Yes, we have another one from the real reason there's no Yu-Gi-Oh anime right now.
Oh, here we go.
You ready for this one? It's gonna hurt me so much to talk like this, but I'm gonna try my best.
Okay.
I rather don't have any. Okay,
strong start.
Oof, yikes.
Okay.
Yu-Gi-Oh anime at all than to see another anime like Seven or Go Rush. So you've already Sevens, but okay. I hate those shows so must. Not much, so must.
So must, yeah.
Yeah. Mind you, like because I couldn't tell from what you had, so you had to put that in quotes for me. Thank you.
I think the implication was they hated those shows.
Oh, okay, now I understand. The art of that show is just so that's not a word, so I'm not going to say it. No, that's not, I can't, if I Google that, it won't come up because it's not spelled correctly, so I'm not
No, yeah, it's bearable, not bearable.
Oh, it's
bearable.
Unbearable. Oh, that means it's good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
It's good, okay. To me, I just like the art make for 6-year-old children. Oh, man. And those children will not understand all the text on the FK. Oh, I know what that means. Okay.
Effin.
Card, man. They have destroyed the Siri I used to have so love, but now I don't even care to see anymore.
Okay, wait. This one, and this isn't an insult because there's many people, but this person's first language cannot be English.
Well, you know what?
No
That's
way.
the thing.
You know what's crazy? I still think it's their first language.
Well, but
maybe it is.
If it's their first language, that is
Then they got left behind, you know.
No, I think that's unfortunately the case here, and that's why their comment is poor grammar, poor spelling, poorly worded things that I have ever read. I almost want you ever read Billy Madison when Adam Sandler comes up and says all this stuff, and the guy literally walks up and says, "At no point in your incoherent rambling, just saying, and may God have mercy on your soul." That's what I'm saying to this person right now. That's exactly what I'm saying to them. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
may God have mercy on your soul.
There's definitely a lot here. I'm gonna try to just look through the grammar and spelling because maybe again this person's first language isn't English, so I'll try to even giving him the benefit of the doubt there. This is just one of those takes that I have for the longest time cannot stand, and I think it is just an extremely selfish take to publicly write and feel that there should never be another Yu-Gi-Oh anime again because you feel like the franchise isn't for you. Regardless of what you thought of Sevens or Go Rush, every single Yu-Gi-Oh show, including Sevens and Go Rush, have touched people in ways that have massively helped their lives and gotten them friendships, connections, gotten them through tough days. And to want to take away that potentially from helping other people down the road, who knows who Yu-Gi-Oh 9 would resonate with or Yu-Gi-Oh 10 or yada, 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 just because you feel that the show has been targeted for 6-year-olds, which that's not the case. You want to say like 12-year-olds, sure. I mean, that it's definitely a younger demographic, but the shows are not. The Sevens and Go Rush are complex enough where they're not targeted for 6-year-olds. I mean, that's just not having a knowledge of actual age demographics.
No.
But like, you know, if you feel that way, fine. But I just always feel like it is an extremely selfish take and has been for a long time to say, oh, I haven't liked anything after Zexal. Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh should have ended at Zexal. I think it's horrible what happened to it. Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh should have ended after Vrains. It's like, all right, that is totally different than saying, yeah, you know, I haven't really liked Yu-Gi-Oh since Vrains. The newer shows aren't for me. Two totally different sentences. One is very fair and respectable. The other is just reeked in entitlement and selfishness, in my opinion.
Even if he said, "Oh, these shows are bad," which still
Sure,
like comes off as kind of a harsh opinion.
But you can
to
have
say
that.
I'd rather have nothing.
Yeah.
Is like insane. It makes me wish that the next show isn't. We're not even remotely in the demographic. Make it a show for 6-year-olds. I'd rather that and this person suffer.
I love that.
Yeah. No, I mean, like that. Those comments will always just really grind my gears. Always have, always will.
Yeah.
And even looking through the grammatical errors, the message of the comment itself is one you see a lot when it comes to the newer stuff.
Here's the thing too. I'm pretty sure like he could have just. I mean, he, she. I don't know who they could have put it through spell check, and just.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hey, they if they are using Google Chrome, they should have had the Grammarly plugin. The add-on.
Even like Microsoft Word, you could have typed it up, put it like, but that just shows that they went on this and just wrote, didn't even spell it. They didn't even check it. They just wrote it, hit that enter button, and went on with their day. So.
Also, are the 3 crying emojis at the end supposed to make us like feel sympathetic for them that they don't even care to see anymore?
I think so.
It's like,
but I don't feel sympathetic.
I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. Last one here. Nick T, what do you got for us? Oh boy.
It's not much better. This is a classic case of confidently wrong, and you're gonna love this.
Oh no.
So this comes from the video. The Shadow Realm isn't real. And the comment is, quote, "You are incorrect. In the original manga, in which Yugi doesn't actually change appearance-wise when the Pharaoh takes over, the Shadow Realm is actually referenced multiple times, and Kaiba even creates a machine to replicate its haunting effect, so he can't get revenge on Yami for trapping him there for a while. Before you make yourself sound like an idiot, do a minute amount of research, reading or research."
So this guy's just chronically stupid. I thought he was
chronically
stupid. Yeah, okay.
Very dumb.
Confidently wrong, especially since and not that he even needed to, but I appreciate Dak doing this, sent us from literal hard copy books, from Carrie's hard copy mangas, a scene where Yugi transforms into
the
Yami Yugi.
It's one of the most iconic sequences in the entire franchise. Yugi transforming into the Pharaoh. In the original manga, Yugi doesn't actually change appearance when the Pharaoh takes over. I mean, that
he clearly does. I'm looking at it.
Of course he does. I mean, I can't believe this is an actual comment. The Shadow Realm also is not referenced in the original manga. The Shadow Realm is a dub-only thing. It is not in the original anime. It's not in the original manga. Now, Shadow Games, Yami no Games, are in the original manga, so maybe that's what he's getting a little confused with, and I can kind of see the confusion there. But, I mean, I don't... This comment is just so... people will ask me, it's like, oh, it's fun being a YouTuber, I'm sure. And I'm like, yeah, it is. But you have to deal with comments like this, where this guy calls me an idiot and claims that I didn't do my research, when this guy could not be more incorrect. Oh my dude, yeah, and you,
and like, is it the implication, like, oh, Shadow Games implying Shadow Realm? But no, like, yeah, I'm grasping here to try to make some semblance of sense of it.
The Shadow Realm is 100% never mentioned in the original manga, and I'd love for this guy to show me a panel where it says Shadow Realm in the original manga. It doesn't exist. I know for a fact it doesn't exist. Hold on, I didn't do a good job. I didn't save the photo. I'm seeing if I can pull up the photo, but yeah, here's the transformation, and huge thank you to Dak of Yugi changing into Yami. I mean, it happens so many times. It happens so many times. To claim that the manga doesn't show it, and that Yugi doesn't change appearance, and that he looks the same, I've got a question if this guy even read Yu-Gi-Oh. He may have read like a totally different like manga and is just really confused.
Wait, is he talking about Card Fight Vanguard? The show's going to take over Yu-Gi-Oh? Is that?
Well, that was Shadowverse, but I mean, maybe that's what he's talking about. But yeah, that is what these are the comments, man. And I say it all the time. It is just draining to read comments like this of this random anonymous guy calling me an idiot and claiming that I didn't do proper research on a video. And he is just so wrong. And like, what can you do? Like in my position, what can you do? I could
Yeah,
comment
seriously,
back,
like,
but that's not going to do any good, you know?
Yeah, like you pay good money to other people to do that research.
Oh my god. That's wild.
All right,
There's
first
wilds
of
for
all,
that one.
that is not true. I absolutely do
No, it's
not.
not.
I might recycle some old content for shorts. I'll give you that one. But there is. I wish there was a team of engineers or whatever behind me or online that were researching a bunch of stuff for me. But that is not true, unfortunately.
No,
Pretty
it's.
wild.
I will go on record and say that is not true.
that
was just trolling.
That was a
That
good
was trolling.
comment. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, this comment's just absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely
man.
ridiculous.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So,
Yeah, baffled by it.
yeah, it's baffling. Oh, good
Yikes.
comments there, boys. Good comments.
Thank you.
Jesus Christ. Do we have any other super chats or donations before we sign off for the evening?
We do have two from Mad Kuroy.
Kuroy, thank you so much, Kuroy.
I can feel the boomer aura from here in Brazil. LOL.
Yeah,
seriously.
Listen,
a lot of it.
Mad Kuroy is someone who loves the Chaz. But you know what? That's the thing.
Manjome.
There's so many people that love Chaz or Kaiba or Yugi or Judai and aren't like the elitist boomers that you get sometimes in these comment sections. There's a lot more good than bad. I think unfortunately a lot of the like good fans, I would say, that are not like elitist or anything probably aren't like commenting as much on videos. It's why you hear
The
like
silent majority.
right, of course. So it's but Kuroy, big Manjome fan, and we love that. We love that.
We
for
love
her.
Manjome.
Of course.
We
Well,
love
yes,
Manjome.
we love that for her.
Manjome
yeah.
Thunder.
You don't like Manjome?
No, I like Manjome is okay. He's okay. He's okay. Well, that's not. I'm not. I don't think he's bad. I think he's a. I get why people love him. How about that? I get why people love him.
Okay.
I don't get why people love Shingo. How about that?
That's
Okay.
fair.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
So that yeah, I get why people love him.
Yeah, we'll allow that one.
Yeah, I think that's very fair.
Even with the Shingo slide there, the Shingo shade, I still get what you're saying. I like that. I can appreciate that.
I do, and you know what? I will applaud Manjome for being a very unique rival, and I've grown to appreciate that element of him more as I've gotten older, because he is a more unique rival.
He is,
and I respect that about him. Yeah. So.
Okay,
well, listen.
I like that.
Well, listen. It's been a beautiful episode. We talked about a lot of great things here. The Talking Yu-Gi-Oh show. I'll give you guys a quick schedule for July. There's not going to be anything next Wednesday night, July 9th. There is not going to be anything. July 16th will be most likely an After Dark. The 23rd will be another Talking Yu-Gi-Oh show, and the 30th will be the Chronicles. So next Wednesday night, again, we will not be live. We're not doing like a Tuesday makeup stream for that. So the next time you'll see the crew Wednesday night, it'll be the 16th, July 16th for an After Dark. The next time you'll see the Talking Yu-Gi-Oh show is July 23rd. Again, there will not be a podcast in any form next week. There will be plenty of streams, but no Wednesday night podcast. I want to thank Nick T and Dredger hugely for helping me out with this show. It is always greatly appreciated. Dredger, we'll start with you. Do you have anything going on that you would like to promote?
Stream at twitch.tv/Dredgenator. Do Pokemon Nuzlocke, Fortnite, all the above. We do it. I think we're streaming this weekend. We'll see. We'll see how the holiday weekend worked out, but we should be streaming this weekend. So if you want to hang out, play games, and try to help me see what I'm doing, come on by.
Love it. And his stuff is going to be linked in the description. Nick T, what's going on, man?
Oh, yeah. I've got some stuff slowly but surely in the works. But in the meantime, Nameling, Fragile Homes, Mom Fight, all on all music streaming platforms and music marketplaces, whether you stream your music on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, wherever, or purchase it on Bandcamp or iTunes, they are all there. Obviously, the purchases help me create more. So, be on the lookout for there. Stream the music and support in any way you can would be much appreciated. And new Nameling and Fragile Home stuff very soon to come.
Awesome. Very exciting. Yeah, and you can find all Nick T's ventures, Nameling, Fragile Homes, all the above, down below in the comments for sure. Huge thank you to everybody watching. We got one last super chat here from the man himself. JC, Legendary Duels, the man who might be coming to Jump Festa, might not be. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows ever?
It's a far,
got RSVB.
it's a far drive for him. And who knows even how many people we can have with the still.
Oh yeah, it's a different
shared
situation.
wall.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
unfortunately.
You might have to have a lower number than usual. Crazy.
We may have to, yeah. But we'll see. JC, thank you for the $2 super chat. Add me as a guest for the next Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! We will add you as a guest. I'm going to write it down. JC, we have not had a guest on. I know there's a lot of people interested in being guests, which I think would be fun, like 10, 15-minute segments for this show. Make this show maybe closer to like a 2-hour show. Usually, I think the last few episodes, it's been like an hour 30, hour 40. But greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate you, Legendary Duels. Thank you for the super chat. To everybody who super chatted and donated, thank you so much. I will be live tomorrow with a Master Duel stream. We're going to be building Manjome's Ojama deck. And then we are going to be watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters episodes 11 through 15. This concludes the Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Show episode 5. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys. Have a great night.
Peace.